get another 800,000. Jana peke yake hapa kwetu nilitumia 1.2 million. Jana. Sasa kesho tukiita wamama vijana watakuja. Tusikue na ile maneno ilipata jana. Na tukakubaliana ya kwamba kila mtu ambaye amekuja akae na asikize. That one was for yesterday. Today, na ndio naomba vijana wa hapa. Kama wengine wametoka Dondori, sikize tu. Na ukitoa hiyo mavi kwa masikio, utasikia vizuri sana. Ndio nawaambia leo tutasema mimi tumekuja hapa wajumbe wangapi? Wanne. Mimi nimepewa wodi ambayo inaitwa Gidima polling station ngapi? Mimi nimepewa Gidima na nikapewa Nyakiambi. Polling station ngapi? Alafu tuko na polling station moja mbili hapa katika wodi ya Merangine 10 na ngapi? 13. Wale wa ndugu zangu wengine tayari wanaenda mikutano yao kwa kule kama hapa CCM. Siko na mtu. Na hapo na yeye naye amepewa pesa yao. Unaelewana? Kama ni Kandutura kuna mwingine. Kama sijui ni wapi, kila mtu amepewa yao. Namna hiyo. Na ndio tukasema hakuna haja tukuje tufurugane ama tuulizane maswali ama hivi vijana pengine hamjawahi piga kura. Lakini niulize nani alipiga kura mwaka jana 2022? Hapo ulipiga kura sivyo? Kuna kitambulisho kilikuwa kinatishwa? Hakuna kitambulisho kilikuwa kinatishwa. Mimi nauliza kuna kitambulisho kilikuwa kinatishwa? Mtu alikuwa kwa kupiga kura? Hakuna kupiga kura. Mtu alikuwa akifanya nini? Unaweka kidole? Unaweka nini? Na nini vijana ndio mlijibu. Kama ID haitishwi, unatumia kidole. Alafu unasema ati watu wanaitisha ID wakaide kura. Una kidole ya mtu itakatwa. Alafu mimi leo nikawekelea. Ni lazima wewe mwenyewe ufike ujione kidole. Hakuna ID. Hautaitishwa ID na hautaitishwa hata ile kadi ya kura. Tulia. Simwambia mimi nimepewa 250,000. Hiyo ni agano, sio? Leo nimepewa nada 250,000. Wananitisha nataka kujua, je, uliongea na wapiga kura wa Gidima na Nyakiambi? That is why they are asking for your ID.
So yes, Chair and members, this report contains the links, the video links, the links to the video evidence. And like I told this committee, these links are still live and that information can still be consumed even now by anyone who accesses the link. And that's all, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Commissioners, is there anybody who has a question to the Commission Secretary before I allow Council for the respondent? Okay, Council.
Chair, just one request before we proceed. And I make this request with tremendous respect to this committee. We are only seeking an adjournment. Sorry, we can take 15 minutes for the respondent to at least prepare for his case. And I ask this with tremendous respect to this committee.
Counsel, once you have made an application for adjournment and we have already pronounced our ruling, why would you again seek a further adjournment in the same matter, in the same session?
Chair, it is in the interest of rights.
In the interest of?
Of a fair hearing under Article 25C.
Counsel, is it your position that an adjournment is in the interest of fair hearing?
I'm not seeking an adjournment. Perhaps you're getting me wrong. I'm not seeking an adjournment. I'm just seeking for at least 15 minutes for us to put our case in order. Just 15 minutes.
No, sorry. We are uncomfortable. Let's proceed.
All right. Honorable Chair, committee members, with respect to this particular case, we were served with a charge sheet. This particular charge sheet was issued on the 11th of July 2026. We were equally served with a forensic report from the National Kenya CIRT. We were not served with any video evidence that the prosecution was relying upon. The same has been played before this committee, whereas it was not served upon us. Equally, Chair, we have not been served with any transcriptions of this particular videos. So I presume the prosecution was only depending or relying upon their documentary evidence. Chair, I look at this particular charge sheet. Honorable Gikaria is alleged to have breached the provisions of paragraph 6A. These particular provisions concern bribery and inducement. They are also alleged to have breached the provisions of paragraph 6L of the Electoral Code of Conduct, which then relates to misleading the voters with a view to voter suppression. Chair, the forensic evidence that has been presented before this committee only authenticates the existence of the video. But if you have a look at this particular cyber investigation report, it does not prove any of the alleged breaches. Chair, with respect to the alleged breach of bribery, the committee has referred to the remarks concerning Kenya shillings 250,000 and 1.2 million. And it has relied upon its own interpretation of that particular speech rather than evidence establishing the elements of paragraph 6A and paragraph 6I. Chair, there is no evidence that has been tendered before this committee that money did indeed change hands. Chair, there is no evidence that has also been tendered before this committee that indeed that particular speech was an offer to the members of the public in exchange of them attending any political meeting. No evidence has been tendered as well that any voter in all Kalou was promised any monetary compensation or award for voting a certain way. Chair, the remarks were simply taken out of context. Chair, if you look at this particular report, is it the report? Chair, if you look at this particular cyber investigation report, the scope of the same is a bit limited. From this report, it confirms the existence of the YouTube upload. It also confirms that the broadcaster is Citizen Digital Channel. It also confirms that the upload was made on 7th July 2026. Lastly, this particular report only confirms that the video was stored in a DVD marked as CSE 295/2026. What the investigation report fails to catch is that it does not conclude that the respondent committed bribery. It equally does not conclude that the voters were induced in any way. It does not conclude that money changed hands. Chair, it also does not conclude that any voter was misled to vote in any certain way. Such that if this particular committee is to make that determination as to the alleged breaches, it would not rely upon this particular report. Finally, Chair, let it go on record that it only authenticates the video. It does not prove any alleged breaches. That is all we have from our end.
Thank you, Counsel. The prosecutor, do you have a rejoinder?
Yes, Chair. Indeed, Chair and members, first of all, we did serve this report, which includes numerous links to the video clip which we played before this committee, and it was duly served upon the respondents. Chair, this forensic report cannot point out the offenses or the breaches of the code. What it does, Chair and members, is that it establishes the existence of this video, and it also tells us that it is not manipulated, or it has not been manipulated to fit this sitting. It further tells us, Chair and members, that in confirming the same, as per the certificate which is attached, that the machines that were used to look at this video were working in good order, to establish that indeed this video exists, that it is available, and that it depicts what we have described to this committee as depicting, not necessarily picking out the breaches. I'll say again that this report has the links which I said are still live. The breach of the Electoral Code of Conduct is in the details.
Proceed.
Yes, Chair and members, the breaches that we have identified and that we are complaining and finding fault with is in the details of the words that have been uttered. Chair and members, the words were spoken in a national language which does not require transcription of any kind, because I believe everybody in this room do understand the Kiswahili language. We did not require transcription to understand what was said in the clip. And further, your Chair and members, we still reiterate that this forensic document depicts a leader addressing people who regard him as somebody who can guide. And by guiding, he did in the way that he knew best at that time. That is all, Chair.
Thank you, the prosecutor and counsel, learned counsel, for your submissions and for your arguments. I wish to thank you. We come to the end of this session. We will be retreating shortly to write the judgment, and we should be ready with the judgment for the media and for the press and for the nation at 3 p.m. today. So please be invited so that we can conclude this matter at that time. I thank you.
Just a minute.